Right then, it looks like we are live. Hello everybody in the chat or otherwise. I think I could only see one person in the chat, but hello people who are watching after the live stream. Didn't know what we're saying there. So yeah, you can see I've got a new background. It's the same location, just I thought I'd shoot this, oh, if I can even do it the right way around. I thought I'd shoot this long road down here. It's a road I walk down quite often when I'm doing my walk at the back. It's basically at the back of these houses. I walk down this long stretch. I can't even do it with my finger because every time I'm pointing to it, the webcam sends my finger in the opposite direction. So I think I need to be like there. There we go. So this is the road I walk down quite often. So I quite like having it as my Thursday Talks background because it's quite relatable to me. So yeah, anyway, what are we talking about today? We're talking about simple but hard. I was struggling for a topic this morning. I wasn't sure what to kind of do, you know, what to talk about. And I thought to talk about slowing down to speed up is another topic I wanted to touch on in this video. But I'll just quickly look in the chat, just see if there's anyone else jumped in. Oh yeah, loads of people have just jumped in. Michelle, Jasmine, or Yasmin, Peter, Peter Cummins, Peter Ray, sorry, so both Peters. Southwest Sellers, Andy Robinson, loads of people jumping in. Hi there to everyone. Peter says, just made it back. Gemma losing, hi there. So we've got loads of different people in. I'm assuming some more people will jump in a sec. Yeah, we've got George just jumped in there, Wally Shed. Hi there. Half-cut reseller, which I believe is Les. Hi, Les. So yeah, plenty of people jumping in. If you've got any questions, please do throw them in the chat. Other than that, I will just ramble as normal. So I basically said about last week, last week on Thursday Talks, I mentioned the fact that I was starting merch again, or that I had been getting into merch a little bit more, and that I was already tiered up to 25, so that was a big bonus. I've now done my 25 designs on merch, and over the past week, I've been trying to get up a few designs each day, and because I'm kind of learning that, and it's taking a while to do each design, or it was taking a while at the start, it's kind of made me think, is slowing down to speed up a better option? What I mean by that is, although last week I talked about the fact that maybe having multiple income streams is good, or trying different things to sort of spread your risk, obviously when I talked about getting the eBay ban, having different platforms that you sell on to spread your risk, if anything were to happen. Although I think that is a good thing, over the last week when I've been doing my merch designs and I've been trying to do my eBay and I've been doing other things, I've been doing YouTube like I normally do, and I've just felt a little bit lack of motivation in certain areas of my business, and it's making me think, is actually hopping from thing to thing or trying to build up other income sources a good thing in the long run? Because if you, for example, if I were to slow down a little bit, slow my roll, stop trying to do these other things and concentrate more on eBay or more on Amazon, or maybe just a pair rather than doing loads of different things, maybe that would work out better in the long run in terms of my income, because I'm focusing down, I'm laser focusing on one or two. The risk still is there in terms of if I basically do something stupid and get kicked off the platform, or if they just decide to kick me off for whatever reason, Amazon restrictions and things like that could come into play. The risk is still there and I would be basically doomed. But from then on, I could then say to myself, well, hang on a minute, I've got a bit of free time now I'm not on this platform, to build up something else, and I could build up something else in the future. So I think, slowing down to speed up is certainly something I'm going to be thinking of in the next few weeks, because I've got so many different things I've wanted to do over the last few months. I wanted to, well, I did a little bit of work on it yesterday. I've wanted to set up a Doctor Who YouTube channel. No inclination of getting loads of views on it or anything like that, or making a load of money on it, nothing like that. I just want to set it up, It isn't like a business thing. What I'm saying is I don't have any intent to make money on it. It's not a business thing. It's a personal thing for me. But obviously doing that takes a lot of time, building up the channel, putting time in to actually do the videos and do reviews of episodes and things like that. It's all time that's taken away from my business. And there's, you know, these other things that are coming up like merch and stuff like that, that is taking time away from my actual business, which is eBay and Amazon. And that isn't making any money at the moment. You know, these things don't make any money, so you're putting your time into something that isn't making money, basically, but that could do in the future. Less so with YouTube, but more merch. So it made me think, really. And also I wanted to touch on this simple but hard philosophy as well. But before I just touch on that, I'll just quickly go in the chat, because I know that I ramble too much and forget about the chat. I think you should focus on maybe two or three different things only. Any more and you're spreading yourself too thin and not making the most of your strengths. Very true. The other thing I wanted to mention as well is I've been writing the comedy shorts recently as well. I'm absolutely loving writing them. I've actually just finished writing the finale and I really, really like how it's turned out. But obviously that is a lot of brain power, a lot of thinking, a lot of time. I mean, I've spent 2, 3, 4, 5 hours on that. Now, I don't even know how long, but a few hours on that, and then obviously that's just the finale, and then the other ones I've spent time writing as well. And obviously it's not just the time you're putting into those, it's actually wasting your energy. So it means if you're doing that for 3 hours one day, then your energy is depleted, and by 4, 5, 6 o'clock or whatever, you don't want to do any eBay work, or I find myself not wanting to do any eBay work, and I'm sure it is the same for others, you know, if they were to do other things in the day. Again, the same with my merch. So I think you're right there, George. I think that what I'm doing is I'm putting too much on myself at the moment, and I need to, as I say, I need to be laser focusing down, kind of slowing down to speed up. So I'm actually slowing my roll a little bit. I'm reining things in order to actually get more money in the long term, because I'm focusing down on 1 or 2 things. And as long as I am adhering to policies, as long as I'm keeping an eye on what Amazon are doing with these restrictions or whatever is might happen in the future, then it's not a problem for me to put my eggs in those 2 baskets and do that. But the issue I have is not necessarily kind of whether I'm going to get kicked off or that. I don't have much of that fear that comes into it, but because that's kind of like an if fear, you know, if it happens. The thing that I struggle with is actually reining myself in from the excitement of doing these other things and trying. I just want to do everything. I want to put myself into all these different things, like I was mentioning last week or the week before, and it's very, very hard to do that. But I think that this philosophy of reining yourself in, and I think you're completely right, George, of actually just doing those 1 or 2 things. If you're a reseller and you're watching this and you do eBay or Amazon solely, or maybe both of them, maybe it might be a good idea to stick to those. If you've got a personality like myself where you want to go out and do other things and try other things, it's not to say that you can't do them, but what I'm learning is that you've got to choose your time to do them. You can't necessarily think, right, well, I've done eBay for 6 months, I've done eBay for a year, whatever situation you're in, I've built it up to X number of listings, I can then leave that now and go on to do something else. It doesn't necessarily work like that. You've got to make sure that you're still giving the time of attention to eBay or Amazon that you were doing at the start, and that's what I'm not doing at the moment. Over the last week, since I've been, as I say, since I said about doing the merch, I feel like I've not listed as much. And to be honest, I don't just feel that, I know I haven't listed as much on eBay. So then that comes into the fact that, you know, I'm not putting the time and effort into the main part of the business that I should be doing. So yeah, I think there's a time and place to be able to do these other things. And you might be able to think like me, oh well, I can fit it in somewhere, but there's only 24 hours in a day, and the fact is you've got to have some sleep, you've got to have rest, you've got to have, you know, just general rest other than sleep, you've got to have food, you've got to have toilet breaks, you've got to have all this sort of stuff because you are a human. So it's kind of, you might not be able to fit it in. So it might be something that I'm thinking that I need to weigh myself in a little bit and just focus on what's important rather than focusing on these little ideas and things like this that could take off, and with a lot of work they may do at one stage, but I need to be, I think it's a time management problem, I think. But anyway, I'll just go up the chat because I've rambled again there. Peter's got a question, but I'll get to that in a sec because I want to just go up the chat. We just got a load of highs at the start. Yeah, just everyone saying hi. Chelsea Rooney, Richard Payne, Thin Fashion Plus, hi there. Kay Horsley, hi there. Celtic Traders, hi there. Going to be listening while taking photos. I need to do my photos actually. Michelle Pauly, question. So I sell only vintage items. I get my items via house clearances and local recycling centre. I've not done auctions. Would you recommend? And if so, how much money should I roughly take? That's a hard one. I can't answer the how much money you should take because it's so different for everyone. It's like, if it's your first time, you don't need to take a lot of money. Just go down there to the auction or whatever and just, you know, go to the viewing day and then go down there and just bid on a couple of items. I mean, what you've got to watch out for your first time is like auction fever and just bidding like crazy on everything because you think, oh, that job lot I can make X amount on. And then, although you might be thinking in your head that you've got the numbers right, you might get the job lot home, or you might get loads of different job lots home that you bid like crazy on, and actually when you run the numbers again, or you look on your little receipt that they give you, you think, hang on a minute, I think I've overpaid for that. So watch out for auction fever, watch out for, you know, people bidding you up, things like that, but just take as much as you feel comfortable with kind of losing in that first go, I would say, and then think, right, you know, once I'm getting into this, once you've been to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, you'll then get into it and it's a natural thing. You know, you can view the lots and you know where you stand with profits and stuff like that. But sounds like you've been doing it for quite a while anyway, reselling, so you should be alright anyway. It's just adapting to a new kind of sourcing strategy. But yeah, I would say I would recommend it highly. You have to find the right auctions. There's certain auctions that are going to be kind of more geared to collectors, and then there's going to be other auction houses that are maybe more geared to household goods, and then there's going to be other auction houses that are a bit in between that maybe do more antique goods or vintage goods and household goods, some in job lots, some individually. Generally, the items that are in cabinets and things like that on an individual lot basis, so there's one item in one lot, they're probably going to get bid too high from my personal experience of looking at, you know, watching the auctions. Anything like, you know, like, for example, if you've got like a Bezic horse and it's a really, really nice one, what comes to mind, like, there's those, like, Shadow of the Dardidars of Bezic and stuff. Anyway, they're named different things. Spirit of the Wild or something. All those, you know, all those really nice ornate Bezic horses like that, and there's only one item in a lot. That's probably going to get bid up too high, probably by collectors and things like that. So, yeah, it's like finding those auction houses that are fairly cheap, that don't have too much competition, that have the right kind of stuff in terms of the stuff you're looking for. It's quite hard to find those, and I don't really think I've found a perfect one yet, and I don't think you will ever find like a perfect auction house, because there's always going to be competition. There's always going to be kind of you know, collectors there looking at things, especially if it's a higher end auction. But you just got to go with your gut, make sure that you know, researching the lots, digging down into the bottom of these boxes if you're going for these box job lots, and setting your price and sticking with it, really. But anyway, I've rambled loads on that, so I think that answers your question. I always like, when I'm answering questions, I always ramble forever because I really want to make sure that I've answered the question properly. I do mean well, but sometimes I just ramble on forever. Anyway, so we'll just go down and see. Michelle says, I have a website, I do popular pop-up shop once a month, but I'm trying to grow my eBay. It seems like you're definitely a professional in this game anyway, Michelle, because you've got website, pop-up shops, all that sort of business. That's an idea, isn't it? Pop-up shop. No, don't get me. No, I'm not going to. I've just literally said, like, I'm going to rein myself in. And then I thought, oh, pop-up shop. That's a good, cheap, efficient, well, not necessarily really cheap, but it's a cheaper way of getting a shop for a small amount of time. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that because that's another idea that sprung into my head now. You need to concentrate on spreading the bread and butter. That bread and butter is guaranteed income. Bread and butter. I'm assuming you mean like sort of like the lower value items, but consistently flipping them. Is that what you mean in Les?
I was like, you need to go, I can't quite work that out. You need to concentrate spreading the bread. Oh, the butter on the bread. Okay. Okay, right. So what you're saying is I need to focus on trying to actually guarantee myself some sort of income in terms of sales. I'm assuming that's maybe meaning more auctions. I am trying to get back into... This is a funny thing, actually. I'll talk about this. I did some auctions back in... I don't know, when was it I was talking about? It must have been January, February time. And I did auctions, and I was doing really well, and my sales were going well. And then I stopped doing auctions. It was weird. I only did about 10%, probably less than 10% of my inventory. Yeah, actually way less than 10% of my inventory, because that'd be like 130 items. But I probably only did like 50 items or so a month on auction, maybe a little bit more, a touch more. But I found that my sales were a lot more consistent. So in that period over the last couple of months where I've not been doing auctions, I have found my sales to be a bit less consistent. So I think, yeah, I don't know whether you are on about auctions or not, Les, but I think auctions might be a good thing to me get back into. But I think I've got to choose the items I put on auction well. I don't want to just put anything on auction. I think that I've got to try and think about what I'm putting on auction and if it's going to sell and what sort of money it's going to sell for. I've got probably about 7 or 8 auctions ending this Sunday, because I realised that my Sunday sales have been lacking recently. Don't know why, but weekend sales have been quite poor recently for me. Maybe it's the weather, but I don't just like attributing it to one factor, because it's probably more than that. But yeah, I saw that my weekend sales were slow, so I did put a few auctions up. I've got a few auctions ending on Saturday and a few on Sunday, so I'm hoping that that helps boost this weekend up a little bit. There's a couple of nice items in there, hopefully that might achieve 20, 30, maybe 40 quid, but we'll see. But obviously if you've got 2 or 3 of those up, you know, if you get like 30 quid for one, 20 quid for another, you got a few 10s in there, maybe got another 20 in there, whatever, it soon adds up to way over 100 quid, plus you buy it now, and that's more than enough for one day on the weekend, really, for me. So, you know, more than I'm happy with, really. So, yeah, I'm hoping that this weekend will be a bit better, but, yeah.
So that's that. Okay, my concern is I would go crazy. It's hard.
There was the first auction I did with when I'm using this man in the van. I did want to go crazy, and I did go a little bit like crazy, but I got 23 boxes worth of stuff. But if you think about it, because those are household job lots, a lot of that is tat, so there's quite a bit of wastage and all that. I got it for a good price, but I didn't go as crazy as I thought I would. I kind of couldn't go that crazy because again, it's kind of this mentality of actually looking at the prices things are going for, and once you've been to so many auctions, you'll realise that, hang on, I don't want to be paying this amount. So I suppose that, like, I realised that in that moment, when I was doing the auction, and I thought I better rein myself in a little bit. So yeah, I didn't go mega crazy, but I'd really like to go. But the problem is, when you've been to a few auctions, you'll realise that actually you're kind of limited in one auction. You could, in theory, you could just buy up the entire auction. And basically, like, if you had a lot of capital, I'm talking if you've got, maybe not the entire auction, but you buy up as much as you possibly can for whatever prices you go for. So if you had, 5,000, 10,000 or whatever capital to inject, you do that. You might overpay on some lots, but you'll underpay on others because, that's how it goes. Some lots go cheap, others go expensive. But it'll all average out, I reckon. And then, obviously, you get your man, your van, or whoever, get it collected, or if you can collect it yourself, or if you want to go collect it yourself, you collect it. Get it in your lockup or wherever you can store it. If you've got storage space, you'd probably need like 5 lockups or something for that. But so you need a lot of storage space. But then you could, I reckon, because there's always Brucey bonuses in there. There's always, things that you don't see in the job lots that are 20, 30, 40 pound items. I think that would actually work out profitable if you knew somewhat what you were doing. But yeah, I'd love to do that. But it is competition. That is one thing with that. I mean, things could just get bid up way too high, and then you've got like 10 grand of stock that is actually only worth 10 grand retail, so you've basically not made any money. So yeah, I mean, I've thought about doing something similar but on a slightly smaller scale to the kind of cash flow level I've got, but then again, you know, it is a bit risky, that, but I have thought about it, so
I'm glad I mentioned that there. Anyway, Peter, we've got down to his question now. How much time could you have to develop the Doctor Who YouTube page? Like, something will suffer. Maybe not how... Maybe not. No, maybe not now. I don't know why, but I thought it said now because I had my mouse over the N. But some point in the future. How much time could you have? I would imagine I could do it. I could do it now, and it's not a fact of the fact that, you know, I don't have time. I could do it around everything else that I do, but I would get extremely, like, pressured, you know, because really on that channel I'd want to be putting out 2 or 3 videos a week. I've then got comments to answer, I've got thumbnails to do, I've got the tags to do, got to do the titling, all these different behind the scenes things, and then I've got to do video requests if there's any video requests and stuff like that. And, you know, I mean, even just setting up green screen and stuff, because I'm thinking I might do it on green screen. And then, basically, from the get-go on the channel, I could be very, very professional. So, basically, my plan is, if I do the channel, from my absolute first video, I want to be pretty professional. Because on this channel, what you've got is, you've got progression to this, to the green screen, to the mic, all that. If you watch my first video, it was nothing like this. Lighting was poor, video quality was poor on my webcam, all that sort of stuff. No microphone, green screen, none of that. No fancy thumbnails done in Photoshop or anything. Well, at least I think they're fancy, or somewhat fancy. I can probably do better in the future, but anyway, none of that. But on my new channel, I would like it so it's from the get-go, I've got that base level of quality that is a really good level. So I could do it around all my stuff, but it would make me a bit more stressed. I probably wouldn't be able to juggle all the balls for that long. So I think that, you know, I've done the channel art, I've set up the channel description and stuff. I think it's a case of maybe waiting a few weeks, getting my eBay back on track, trying to work harder on eBay, and I think I'm going to try and document this more on my YouTube channel. I think I'm going to try and do maybe a little touch more vlogging if people would like to see that, to try and force myself, because when I document something on YouTube, it forces me to try and do it to a better standard. It gives me more motivation, so I might vlog myself trying to actually increase my amount of listings I'm doing per day, increase my work I'm doing per day on eBay, and actually do that kind of laser focusing down. And I don't need to worry about merch at the moment because I've actually hit my 25 designs now. I've got 25 designs up on merch, so I don't actually need to do anything with that for the next few weeks. It's just about waiting to see if the sales come in or not. So the merch thing I'm actually quite happy with at the moment, and I don't need to do much more work on it for the next few weeks, so that's quite good. So I have actually got myself in a decent position with that, but it did take me away from eBay for a little bit. So I think I am going to do that. I'm going to vlog a little bit, and I'm going to maybe just, it's probably going to be quite boring. I don't know whether people will be interested or not, but I'll do, like, you know, vlogging in terms of picturing my items, you know, sorting my items and things like that. I might do some kind of speeding up kind of thing, you know, while I'm sorting my items or something. I don't know. Maybe getting some stuff for my lockup, maybe doing a bit of sourcing. I try and vlog it and make it into some sort of kind of journey, you know, journey with you, so you see that I'm, you know, I'm applying myself more with my eBay and I'm getting back to that kind of focus. And as I say, I think that doing it on YouTube will help my focus and my motivation a little bit, because funnily enough, recently I've been lacking in motivation with eBay, which is astounding me really, because I've always, since I've started, been very, very motivated with eBay, but recently I've been like, I mean, this morning I was sorting some items and I thought, I just don't feel it. I'm not in the, you know, I'm not in the mode, I'm not in the groove. But then I got into it and I was getting a bit more motivated, but it just felt a bit stagnant, you know, I just didn't feel quite in the mood. So
it's been a bit weird recently, and it might be because I've been taking myself away from eBay a little bit. I'm not sure, and then I'm trying to throw myself back in a bit, but I don't know. But anyway, I'll go down now. I'm way behind on the chat, so I apologise massively. I really need to be better at this chat. Let me just go up, because, oh my god, we've got so much... oh no, I'm actually not too bad. I'm not too bad, actually. Sue's Piles of Shame's in. Hi there, Sue. Spend 300 to 500 a week at auctions. Have spent over 1,000, depends what's available. Very true, Gary. That is a really good statement. That is probably the few words that you need. At auction, it really does just depend what's available. As I mentioned before, some things might go really high. You know, if it's a one-off item or whatever that collectors are bidding on. Other things might go really low, and there might be a £70–80 item in that job lot, of, you know, box full of stuff, and it's only gone for £5 or whatever, or £10 or whatever it is, because no one else at that auction, no other reseller, has managed to spot that one item, or maybe they have, but they don't want to deal with that item because maybe it's too big, or maybe it's an electronic and they don't do electronics or anything like that, or maybe it's, for example, in my case, there's been some great bargains on train sets at my local auction. I know there's profit to be made in them. Do I touch them? Do I click that bid button if I'm on, you know, if I'm bidding online? Do I click that bid button when I see it at rock bottom price? No, I do not, and I never will, because I do not like dealing with train sets. It would be more hassle to me than it's worth. I'm not saying that's right for everyone. I'm sure there's people who love these things, who love dealing with these different things, but for me, it's a pet hate of mine. I don't like dealing with train sets. So yes, it might be a tenner, and I might be able to get 80 quid, but to me, that is no way near enough for a train set. A train set would have to be going for like 300, 400, 500 quid, and it mustn't be too big or too complicated to set up until I am interested, honestly. And I would have to get it for cheap as well, because I really don't like dealing with them. So there's all these different bargains to have, all these different price levels, and obviously some things go for really cheap just randomly, and there's actually good items in that job lot. So yeah, very well said there, Gary. He says spend 300 to 500 a week. Yeah, it depends which auction house I go. If I go to the slightly more like sort of higher end auction house that I go to, it's probably about 300 to 500, pretty much exactly in that range every time I go. If it's at the household auction, I can get so much stuff for like 100 or 150 quid. Now, yes, okay, the quality is far less, but in terms of quantity, if you're playing the kind of quantity game, it's great for that. And there is kind of two sides to my eBay. There's kind of a little bit of quality and then mainly quantity, like, you know, £10 items en masse. For whatever reason, I feel comfortable doing... I don't know, I like doing the odd higher value item, but I feel comfortable knowing I get 10 sales a day or whatever at 10 quid rather than one sale at 100 quid. I don't know why that is for me. It's kind of maybe just the way that my style of business, the way I like to generate money, I suppose. I like the kind of larger quantity, lower value than fewer quantity, higher value. That's not to say I don't do higher value, obviously. And in my next sales update, there's going to be a really, really nice item that I sold on Amazon, actually. So I did post it on Instagram. So if you want to go, there should be a link or something below, or my handle might be below. So if you want to go and see it already, like before the sales update, then you can go to my Instagram. As I say, handle should be below. And yeah, you'll be able to see what that sale was. But really nice sale. So, you know... But that's weird. It's weird how certain people gravitate towards different things. Like, certain people might be a quantity seller, other people might be a quality seller. I actually, as someone who does more quantity than quality, I actually feel that the quality route, and I will be an avid preacher of this, that actually doing the quality route and maybe doing 5 items at £100 each, or opposed to, you know, 50 items at £10 each, I think that the quality route is more efficient. Even though I'm less so of a more quality person, I do feel it is more efficient. But for some reason, I just gravitate towards the quantity route. I don't know why. It's just something I kind of like more. I don't know. It's hard to explain why, but yeah. But I do feel like the quality route is a lot more time efficient, a lot more productive, a lot more, what's the word, like work less but for more kind of thing. You know, you gain more but you work less. And I should start doing that a little bit more at the moment. But I'd say I quite like the £10 items, I quite like the £15, £20 items, bread and butter kind of range. What I don't like is going below a tenner. If I have to list something below a tenner, I just don't like it. It really gets on my nerves because I like that £10 minimum. That's kind of, if you go below that, I feel like, you know, how many £5 are in £100, or how many £5 are in £200 or £300? It's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of £10 in £100 or £200, but there's a lot more £5. So that's kind of why I think. So I like that base of £10, hopefully plus my postage as well. So really it's like £13 turnover if you're classing postage. But yeah, anyway, I'm just rambling on that now, so I'll go down. Hi Peter, went on holiday Sunday. Sue's Piles of Shame says, supposed to be there till Friday, came back, just random chat. How can you get things at a good price when everyone at auction is there doing the same thing? Yeah, well, you can, because, I mean, I got that job lot the other week. I got that, it was a £10, I think it was £10 plus commission job lot, and I showed it on camera, and I got those binoculars out of it for, which was like 60 quid. I got that projector out of it, which I've not sold yet, I don't think, but I was thinking I was going to get about 40 quid for that, 30, 40 quid. There was another projector in there that wasn't as valuable, but it's going to be 10, 20 quid or whatever. And then there was a vanity set, there was some spoons, there was a little other set that was incomplete, a set of like butter knives or something that was incomplete. But you think there, that's over £100 out of a tenner, so, well, what, a tenner plus commission, so £12.50, 13 quid, whatever it is. So you can't really expect too much better than that, you know, 10x return gross, you know, before fees, before postage and that. So there are gems to be had, but I do agree that the fact you either have to pay up in some auction houses or just some circumstances if there's a lot of competition on one day, or you have to kind of spread your wings a little bit and try and find those items that maybe other dealers, other resellers don't want to pick up. Maybe things like furniture or stuff. I mean, I'm not into that, but maybe things like furniture might be a good way to go because other people might not have the means to get them home. They might not have the means to, you know, courier them or whatever, to the, you know, ship them off to the other person, to the customer, and all these different things. So I think you just got to be, if you can't get things of profit at an auction, you've got to diversify. You've got to try and think, right, what can I go into that actually, what can I see at this auction that does have potential? Yes, there might be 99 out of 100 lots that have just gone over what I wanted to pay, and I've experienced pretty much that before, you know, loads and loads of lots passing me by, going way over my maximum, but then you just see a little job lot that you might not have seen at viewing or whatever, and you think, that's gone for cheap, there's something in there, I can see it, or what, you just have a feeling, and you end up buying it, you get it home, you spend a £5 on it, you either take a punt, or you just see something or whatever, and you get it home, and there's something in there that's worth 30, 40, 50 quid, whatever. Jobs are good, and so you've just got to, it's about persistence at auction, and see, and if you've got, and again, having a massive list helps, so not like just say going and thinking, right, I'll have that, you know, I'll write down a bid for that, you know, and just do it for 5 items out of a catalogue of 7, 8, 900 or whatever. Try and do, like, I like really a minimum of 30 lots, but that's low really. I'd like 50 lots or something. And if you've got like a sale of 600 items, that's still a drop in the ocean compared to all those others. It's like 1/12 or something. So, yeah, have a big list, and I'm trying to ever expand that list. So every time I do an auction, I'm trying to add things to that list that I might be willing to pick up. And then it just adds a little bit extra opportunity. Yes, you know, you're probably only get, if you have 50 lots, realistically, you're probably only going to get 10 to 15 of those lots, something like that. Generally, that's where I fall in. You know, if I have 30 lots, sometimes I might get 20 of those lots, but generally, it's only about a third of the lots you'll get. So, you know, if you've got 50 lots, the more lots you have, the more opportunity you have to actually get a decent amount of lots and a decent amount of stuff. But there's so many ways to kind of go for an auction, you know, attack an auction. Obviously, if you're bidding in the room as well, you've kind of got that human element, that emotional element, in the sense of, you know, you're looking at your other buyers, you're weighing them up, you're seeing, there's tricks that you can use and stuff like that. And I don't know all these different tricks, but you know, there's all these different things that you can do to play on people and stuff, and bid people up and all this sort of stuff. And maybe a few of them are a little bit dodgy or whatever, but it's kind of all in the auction room, you know, it's what goes on in the auction room kind of thing. So there's all these different things, really. I could talk about auctions forever, really, but
anyway, we will go down the chat. Oh dear, no more ads. Why? What have I said now? Thank you, ads. Appreciate everyone's comments. No problem, Michelle. Glad I could really answer your question anyway. I really did answer that in depth. Oh, agreed, ads. Selling higher price items, less work, less packaging. Average selling price this month is £34.43. Wow, that's awesome. I think mine's like 15-ish, £15-ish, £16. So that really tells you, you know, I am that kind of, you know, quantity seller of maybe £10, £15 items. I am above £10, I know that, because my sold is, like, my number of sold is way less than the 60-day total or whatever. So it must be over £10. But yeah, so I think it's about 15. I think it's about 15, 16. I'd have to double check that, actually. Oh no, I could probably just check on my phone now. One sec. I'll check on my phone. See, I might not be able to work it out exactly, but I could probably do similar. Yeah, what's that? 300. Is that like 300? No, I can't even work that out. I don't know. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's like £16. Yeah, if I work it out. Yeah, it's about six. I was about right. It's about 16 quid. I was trying to work it out in my head. I'm not that great when I'm doing things in my head quick like that. I can work things out in my head pretty good, but not when I'm on the spot. Like I can work them out given a bit of time, but on the spot I'm useless at that. But yeah, about 16 quid. So it's all right. It's decent. It's probably up on where it was. Ads, how many listings per day on average do you get done? On an average day I like to do 10, but obviously this week I haven't done that. Some days I'll do a bit more, I might touch 14 or whatever, but this is something that's been stopping me as well recently, is the fact that I am setting myself a daily goal and I'm not wanting to go above that. So I'm saying to myself, oh, I'll just do 10 listings today, it's alright. And I might get the photos done and get everything sorted by lunchtime or whatever. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, it's alright, I'll just do my 10, it's okay, I won't do any more. I'll get on with some YouTube, I'll get on with some whatever it was this week, you know, merch and that. I'll get on with doing something else, I'll try and, I might go down to my lockup or whatever, I'll do some sourcing or something else to procrastinate away from the fact of actually getting more listings done. So I think that actually having that 10 a day target is holding me back. I think I need to stop doing that and say, right, today I'm going down to my lockup, I'm getting a few boxes and I am sorting and photographing as much as I possibly can. That's what I was doing a few months back when I was doing the kind of mentality of, right, I'm going to photo 50 items at once or 60 items at once, and then I'm going to get through them in the next few days. And I found doing that strategy, I was hitting 20 listings some days. I was doing 50, you know, 15 to 20 quite a few days doing it that way, opposed to just saying to myself, oh, well, I'll just do my 10 today, I'll get my photos done whenever, what, da-da-da-da. And it's holding me back, I think, having that structure in place. So I think that certainly moving forward, I need to think to myself, right, strategy, do it the way I was doing it previously, with doing large job, lots of photos, and then whittling through them at my own speed, because generally I have more motivation doing it that way, opposed to just trying to stay to one listing target per day. So yeah, I mean, maybe a weekly listing target would be better rather than a daily. My personal target is at least £35. Oh, I thought you were saying of listed value per day then, George. I thought, what, just 35 quid? But no, you mean average sale price, don't you? Yeah, that is a good average sale price. I saw Ben's, talking about quality over quantity, I saw Ben's Instagram post on
well, on Instagram, obviously. And his was like 80 quid or something, average sell price, which is ridiculous. That is crazy. But he puts in the work. He does a lot of these, what does he do? Local collections or something, and getting them from, I think it's Facebook Marketplace and stuff, or Gumtree, and collecting things that way. He does really well with that. I've not really explored the whole, I've said this before really, but I've not really explored the whole Facebook Marketplace or Gumtree and stuff. Well, I did Gumtree for a while when I was doing video games. I got scammed a couple of times on there, which was not good. I ended up doing friends and family through PayPal, something you should never do. So, yeah, anyway, I did that. I got scammed a couple of times. Didn't go on Gumtree again. I did have a couple of nice scores from Gumtree, actually, before I ended up getting into bother, but no, I didn't. So I don't really do that anymore. I think it's left a bit of a bad taste in my mouth, but I think that Facebook Marketplace and things like that is not too bad. The reason I got scammed on Gumtree was because I was doing Gumtree in a different way than most people do Gumtree. I was doing Gumtree and getting them to post out the items rather than me going and collecting. If I was to go to collect, I might not get scammed in that sort of way, but obviously because I was getting them to post out and all that, yeah, you get into trouble. So, anyway, how about Craigslist Hunter Pete with an... Oh, I saw his thumbnail as well, like, on his last video. It's like $73,000 in, 31 days or something. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely crazy. And he said, I think his title was like, no more slow sales and stuff. And it's very true, because I've not watched the video, so I don't know what he says in the video, but I'm assuming, and I might backfire on this, so I shouldn't really say it, but I'm assuming it's probably to do with the fact that the mentality, I'm assuming he's going to be talking about the mentality, and that maybe too many people are saying that they obviously have slow sales and it's Dadida's fault or whoever, but really what you should do is take control of your own destiny or your own business or whatever, and pick up the slack and turn those slow sales into good sales, into solid sales. So, yeah, I suppose, I'm assuming that's what he's talking about in the video, but I'll have to watch it anyway. But I did see the thumbnail for that, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Doing it yourself is in, doing it yourself lifestyle. Red tape gun is my fave. Oh, you watched the video then. Yeah, that video didn't do particularly well. Not in terms of views or anything, I'm not bothered about that, but I was really trying to put a lot of effort into that video. You probably saw, if you saw the video, you'd probably see. But a couple of people didn't take too kindly to it. I'm hoping that, I basically replied to the comments saying basically that it might have been the length. I think that after I had edited that video that I did yesterday, I was thinking the length is probably too much. I think that video would have worked better if it was like a 4 to 6 minute video, rather than like a really, really long video. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get away from doing just the generic car boot hauls or sales updates or hunting videos that I do on this channel. I want to spread my wings a little bit. I want to do some more creative stuff. I don't want to be a reseller, and I'm not saying that it's bad to do haul videos or hunting videos or whatever, because it's not bad. I just feel like all these other resellers have just got into a kind of a groove of just doing those style videos, and I'm just getting bored with doing haul videos, sales updates. It just seems very boring, so I'm trying to do different different videos that for one might help people out a little bit, might be like how-to videos and stuff like that, and I'm not really bothered about how we do on the channel, but I do need to think to myself, I've got to try and get get into a groove with these videos and think to myself, right, what sort of length do most people like videos of? And generally what I've found is, although some people have said they like the longer videos, generally a lot of people like the sort of the 6 to 10 minute videos. So I think I'm gonna, if I'm doing these kind of slightly different videos, I'm gonna make them that sort of length, so then I'm not wasting too much of people's time. I'm trying to get things to the point, because yesterday that video didn't need to be 18 minutes. Just when I was editing it, I just didn't edit it in the correct way. I should have sped clips up and things like that. But anyway, where are we now? Haters hate, lovers love, dude. Don't worry, length is a good thing. Well, the only thing I'm having trouble with, and we'll get into YouTube again, because I have to talk about YouTube for like 10 minutes every stream now, even though this channel isn't about YouTube, it's just on YouTube. But anyway, I will talk about it quickly. I want to increase my average watch time, which is basically how long people are watching my videos. Because what I'm finding is my watch time isn't great at the moment. People are getting tune off a little bit soon, kind of thing. Thursday Talks is great. People watch that. The watch time on Thursday Talks is really, really good. But on other videos, my watch time isn't great. So I'm trying to think of a way to increase my watch time, and that'll in turn help boost the channel, because obviously YouTube likes channels with high watch time. So then actually I need to do longer videos on YouTube, but the problem is, if I do the longer videos, like that one yesterday was an 18-minute video, if I do longer videos like that, people are just going to get bored. So I think I need to actually try and do, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but it's good if you'd give me some feedback now. If I did a new live show, maybe an interview style live show with other resellers or something like that. I've been thinking along that line for a few weeks now. I've just not implemented anything. But I'm thinking I might do like an interview style show, and then obviously these shows are going to be an hour long or something like that. Might be live, might not be live, I don't know, I'm not sure yet. There seems to be a lot of live shows around, so I would have to kind of schedule it. I'd have to be fairly certain of a time if I was doing it live, because there's so many different shows going on every night now in America or over here in terms of the reselling community. But it's quite hard to get a slot, but might do it live or might not. And that would in turn keep people engaged, because it's an interview show. People are going to be engaged about the guest, all that sort of stuff. It takes the kind of a focus off me and it puts it onto someone else, and that's always interesting. So I think that'd increase my watch time, increase obviously my availability to go into suggested videos on YouTube, my availability of the channel being promoted or boosted by YouTube, and I think that on the whole, people would like that video. On the whole, there's obviously still going to be people who don't like it, but I think that might be a decent idea to do. It would satisfy myself for actually wanting to get away from the haul videos, get away from the hunting videos, things like that, because I just don't particularly like doing... I mean, I don't mind haul videos, but the hunting videos take a lot of effort and stuff. I don't particularly like doing them. Sales updates are okay. I can just about do them all right with a bit of motivation, but I want to bring more emphasis on people to my channel. I want to bring that kind of realism to the channel about reselling, about people's lives, things like that. I want to bring some more of that to the channel and just attack it from a different angle. Well, maybe not attack is the right word, but when I'm talking about YouTube strategy, I would say attack. Attack it in a different way, and maybe that might help both boost the channel, you guys, and obviously all as well as boosting the channel. I'm all about giving you guys good content. That's what I've been trying to do over the last few days with these different how-to videos and video requests and stuff. So yeah, anyway, the longer vids ain't a problem, dude. It's just gotta get fun content. So maybe do more out vids, what you do daily, more out vids, as in like out and about. Yeah, but I don't want to do out and about vids. Queen's wedding, your thoughts? Keeper or what? Keeper or what? What is WA? What? It wasn't the Queen's wedding, was it though? It was bloody Harry and Meghan's wedding, so it wasn't even the Queen's wedding. So I would say I didn't really watch it. All I heard was I walked into the kitchen and my mum was, oh my god, my mum on that wedding she was watching it from 8 o'clock and it wasn't even starting till 12. She watched it for 6 hours. And then at the night time, she watched the highlights of it. She must have been watching it for 8 hours in a day. And it was a lovely sunny day as well. Anyway, put my tea down. I only heard the bit where they said I do, I think it was. Well, it must have been I do, mustn't it? It wouldn't have been anything else. But I only heard the bit with the vows or whatever. I didn't see it, I just heard the bit with the vows. I'm not a wedding person. Am I a royalist? in one respect I am, because I like history. Well, let's just say this. I would, if I wanted to be, like, if I was under the reign of one person, between Oliver Cromwell or Charles II, I'll be Charles II any day. So in that respect, I am somewhat a royalist. I don't mind the royal family. I think it's cool. I think it's decent. But no, I didn't watch the wedding for whatever reason. I just don't particularly like weddings. I have a problem with me standing up at my own wedding. I've said this to my mum quite a few times. Obviously, a lot of you will know I have cerebral palsy. And I was worried when I was younger that I wouldn't be able to stand up at my own wedding for the length of time that I'd be able to stand up at my own wedding, because I thought that weddings were like, I don't even know how long a wedding is normally now, but I was under the impression a wedding is like an hour, you know, the standing up bit, doing your vows and stuff. I think it is actually less than that, quite significantly less than that actually, but I was worried when I was younger about standing up, because I was thinking, oh God, my feet are going to ache and all that sort of stuff. But obviously, clearly they won't, because I do Thursday talks stood up for an hour. So, yeah, anyway, so that's not really an issue anymore. But I was a bit annoyed at that. I was thinking, oh God, that's going to be an issue. And I also thought to myself, I don't really want to kiss someone in public in front of like 50 people. I'm not one of these people. I don't have a problem with it. Don't make me out to be a bad person. I don't have a problem with people who do public displays of affection. It's fine. Fine, they love each other, I get that, that's great. But I just thought, for myself personally, I don't know whether I would like to kiss someone in front of like 50 or 200 or 100 or whatever different people of my friends and family. It just seems a bit odd to me. But anyway, yeah. I'm just rambling about anything now. It's going downhill, you see. Ads, people will watch what they want to watch, so I wouldn't worry, mate, to be honest. I find that certain people will only watch certain vids, so I make vids because I love doing them and interacting with my subs. Yeah, that's what I've kind of found, because like, that's why I did the video request for, I think it was South London Reseller. I knew that that video wouldn't get many views, but I was happy to help that guy out, obviously, because he was wondering how I went about getting that antiques cabinet. And that's what I'm about. I'm about helping people out. But at the same time, I do have the channel, and I do want to think to myself, well, how can I grow this channel? How can how can I help the most people out? And how can I get the maximum amount of people to watch my channel as I can? Both for my own somewhat monetary gain, obviously, because that's got to come into it somewhat, but also because I can help more people out in that respect. I've said it before and I'll say it again, I won't ever get sponsored on this channel. I had a big debate on that a few months back, and I just don't feel like I want to get sponsored on this channel. I won't ever try and sell you merchandise or anything like that. I'm not going to try and force people to buy anything of mine or anything like that. I'm just about trying to help people, and the way I can do that is through, you know, helping the most people. I can help the most people through boosting my own YouTube channel and trying to do content that more people will watch. But at the same time, if the content that people will watch isn't actually educational, or the content that I want to produce anyway, isn't that a little bit of a grey area of whether you should do that or not? So yeah, it's quite hard to decide. But anyway, I'll just quickly talk finally before we go about I'd only kiss if they let me stick the tongue in. Oh my God, bloody hell, Ryan. Anyway, Ryan Step. You mean Ryan Stop, do you, Shel Saruni? Yeah, so what was I going to do? So, yeah, anyway, so I wanted to talk about simple but hard as well. I don't know whether I touched on it. Sounds a bit wrong, that does, actually, but we'll talk about simple but hard. So, I wanted to touch on the fact that, you know, reselling in its core foundation, and again, this links in with the kind of slowing down to speed up, in its core foundation, it's very, it's kind of like really simple. You know, you buy an item from a car boot, a charity shop, an auction, whatever, and then you list it on eBay, and then you hope for it to sell, or wait for it to sell, pack your title with keywords, and then it sells, you package it, you ship it off. Very simple. But once you get to a certain level, it becomes so hard. It becomes like this thing that is really quite difficult to maintain, quite hard to keep going with, and obviously you get more and more sales, and problems arise like returns and stuff like that, and it can just get quite overwhelming. So I did want to talk about that. Oh, thank you very much, Antoinette, oh no, that's terrible. They've just super chatted, and I can't even say the name. Antoinette, is it Antoinette? Antoinette Daly. Yeah, Daily. Thank you very much for the super chat. Love your content and style, lads. Keep up the great work. It really does mean a lot to me, because obviously, you know, as I say, I want to make this content that people will enjoy. I want, you know, I want to be getting it out to as many people as I can, and it does kind of get to me a little bit when people would say negative stuff, so it's really nice. I really do appreciate when someone says positive stuff, and it happens so much, and I really do want to focus on the positive side of things with what I do. So thank you very much for your super chat. It really is appreciated. Oh, Sue's Pile of Shame says, hi Ken. Is Ken in? Oh, Ken Chapman. Hi there, Ken. We are just talking, what were we talking about? Oh, simple but hard. So, yeah, yeah, what I was talking about was simple but hard. So, basically, when you're doing eBay to a really high standard, when you're doing eBay to, well, Ken's a great example there, actually. When you're doing eBay like Ken, who's got, what, is it 15,000 items you've got, Ken, now? Or something like that. When you're doing eBay to that standard, when someone new comes in, when someone new is obviously, you know, coming into the community, coming into reselling, you end up kind of, they basically think, right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get up and go. They have a lot of motivation for it, and they end up putting a few items on. They'll put 10 items on, 5 items on, 50 items on, whatever it is, and basically they might lose motivation at some point. In the first 10 items or so, they're loving it, you know, they like it, sales are coming in, da-da-da-da. Feels very simple. But what separates the men from the boys is the fact that, you know, it is simple, but when you get to a certain level, it becomes very hard. In the sense that you are actually just, sales are coming in like crazy, returns are coming in, problems are coming in, just everything is happening, and it's getting quite on top of you. So I think that because, you know, a lot of resellers kind of make it look simple on YouTube, and it really isn't. It's actually quite hard. It's when you get to a certain point. I used to say, I'll tell you this. I used to say, in basically videos, I would say eBay is easy and hard at the same time. And in one respect, I still stand by that. But in another respect, I say, what are you? I just think, what are you saying? It's absolutely not easy. It's hard. But it is in one respect easy and hard, because the process of it is very simple, but the actual, you know, doing it on a big scale, on a full-time scale, trying to earn a full-time living from it is extremely hard, and you're going to work probably more than, you know, a full-time job, you know, someone in a 9-to-5 or whatever. It might not feel like it in certain circumstances. You might take a little bit of a break or whatever, but you will actually work probably harder than someone in that circumstance, or if not harder, then certainly the same. And it kind of, I think that newer resellers do kind of think that it's, you know, this kind of easy thing. You'll get in, you'll do these listings, and you'll get, you know, money instantly. And you will get a little bit of money instantly, in the sense you might get a £6 sale or a £15 sale, but you've got to think about how long can you actually do this? Can you sustain this as a you know, a business that is going to provide you a good full-time income? Are you motivated enough to do this? Because when I first started, I was doing it in my bedroom, and I did not think one bit about this being a get-rich-quick scheme or being anything like anything of the sort, because it isn't. And I just kept plugging away, getting those sales, keep putting in the work, and I knew at that moment, I remember I was packing up a Guitar Hero game on the PS3, and I was about to go to work for the first time I'd been to work in 6 weeks, and not a full-time job, it was just a part-time job, but I had missed college, I had missed work for about 4 or 5 weeks, and my mum was having none of it. She was screaming at me. She was saying, "You're getting in the car, you're going to work." I had Lyme disease, or what we assume was Lyme disease at the time. I had chronic fatigue syndrome, and I was battling a generalised anxiety disorder all at the time, hence why I took so much time off college and work. And my mum wasn't having it anymore. She got me in the car. I went to work, and you know what I did? I'm never told this on Thursday Talks. I went, my mum dropped me off near my work, and I ran to this train station. I came back here, and I got on with more eBay work. And you know why I did that? Because I knew no matter how much hard work I've got to put in, this is what I want to do. Because I was really in a bad place back then. And I'm not trying to do this to get sympathy or anything like that. I'm just expressing my emotion here with you guys and trying to level with you in one respect. I basically got home, I did my eBay work, and I knew that this is what I wanted to do. Not because I didn't like my job, not because I didn't like college or learning new things in that respect, but because I've always done reselling to some extent. From when I was 12 or 13, I've been on eBay, I've been reselling, and it's what I wanted to do. And it took probably the hardest thing I've ever gone through to make me realise that, and to eventually quit that job and to quit my college course. Well, not quit my college course, but like end my college course before, end my university course before I had finished the final year, because that's what I did. Basically, a lot of this information is in Thursday Talks. I think it was 44th episode. I think it's episode 44. But basically, I ended my university course before I had finished the third year, and then I just got on with eBay, and I put a lot of effort in to get to where I am now, to be able to say, you know, I'm at a comfortable place now, you know, and it now is annoying me that I'm losing a little bit of motivation for eBay because I've gone off to do different things, because that was the thing I had the most motivation for in the beginning. That was the thing I wanted to do, even in the hardest time of my life, even when things in my health were really, really poor, I still wanted to do eBay. So that's got to speak volumes into the amount of passion I have for it. So when I say on this live stream that I have lost a little bit of that passion over the last week for whatever reason, it's sad. It saddens me that I have lost a little bit of that, and I'm trying to get back to it. Right then, Yasmin says, or Jasmine, I'm sorry, sorry, I know I'm going to butcher your name. Is it Yasmin or Jasmine? I know you told me the other week, but I'm really sorry. This is the best Thursday Talk so far. Great insight into your world. Thank you very much anyway. Ken, video once a month is needed. Ken, are you going to start videos again? Yeah, Ken, you've been asked by so many people to start videos. Just do one video, literally just one video. Thursday Talks number 44, the one where ads talks. Yeah, it is. I really do open up on that video. We had so much heart from ads. We've had so much heart from ads over the years. That's why we watch weekly. Well, thank you very much, Peter. I mean, I hope that it doesn't sound like I'm just, repeating myself, or that I'm just kind of, going over the same things every week. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to force anything. I'm just trying to do a topic that I feel that people would like, and obviously I ramble off into other topics as well. But as I say, if anyone has any sort of, any topics or anything that you'd like me to discuss in any Thursday Talks episode, then please feel free to, just whack them in the chat or whack them down below in a comment. Sue said, I understand, Ken. Go live whilst listing for us, maybe. It's finding the time, Sue. We've smashed 800 items since Monday. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Ken, it's funny that Ken wasn't here at the start of the video, because I was talking about that kind of laser focus of trying to, do one or two things or a few things more effectively. Ken is doing exactly that, and he's showing the results as well. So it does make me think, I've got to scale back a little bit, slow down a little bit with all these different other things that I've got going on, and concentrate on the thing that started all of this off, which is my eBay account. So I think that is what I'm going to do. As I say, I will try and vlog it. I know that's counterproductive in what I've just been saying, because if I'm taking my attention away from eBay with YouTube while vlogging it, you know what I mean, it's kind of counterproductive. But I'll try and do it in a way that is not too much of a hindrance for me. But I will try and vlog it because I want to document it. That would be the longest, rudest live show on YouTube, as people listen to my mad rambling thoughts whilst listening. Right then, so I'll just quickly go up the chat and then I will go. Oh, sorry, I didn't say to Peter, thank you very much for the super chat. Ads, keep it up, as I enjoy what you're doing with vids. Thank you very much. As I say, it means a lot. I will try and sort out that you know, video idea that I had about the interview as well, because I do think people will enjoy that. 17,000, that's an insane amount of listings. Oh, 17,000 items milestone coming up. Wow, that is crazy. Thumbs up for the legend, Peter says. Thank you very much. Right, where are we? Just do what you love, ads, end of. Yeah, fair enough. That's exactly it, really. You know, I've just got to kind of focus where I want to focus, do what I want to do, and hope things will come right in the end with a lot of hard work and stuff like that. Anyway, I'll leave it there because we've been over an hour. We've been like an hour and 8 minutes or something now. So I apologise about we've run over a little bit. I'll be bringing you more content very soon. I'm going to get motivated. You don't know how much this Thursday Talks episode has helped me just kind of get things out there, get things off my chest, feel a little bit more motivated. I really appreciate everyone with the kind words. I really appreciate everyone being there in the chat and just experiencing this with me. And yeah, I'm going to get on. I'm going to get some more work done today. And hopefully I'm going to get some good listings done. And as I say, I'll vlog for you over the next few days. And we'll see what we get done. And hopefully I'll get a little bit more love back for the eBay. Again, as well for the YouTube, even though the love never really left for YouTube. And I'll get back on track and get back to where I need to be. So, yeah, I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. So, see you very soon, guys.